Here we are, another Friday morning live. August, where are we at? 29th, 2025. Beautiful day. Nice and cool. Brisk, cool morning. A little on the cool side for August with the global warming happening. A little cool. Climate change, or whatever you want to call it. Climate's always been changing, and it will continue to change, whether we partake in it or not. It's just the cycles of nature. And there's nothing we can do to stop it. Things that we contribute will, you know, make the planet makes some adjustments and so on and so forth. But the planet has its program, the way it was designed to function, just like our all living beings, like our body, like all animals' living bodies. They're always in the search for moving towards balance to keep the system alive and well, and you know, uh, that's the inherent design. That's where our bodies are designed. It's to keep us alive. But you know, uh, the problem with we as humanity, we we taken it to the extremes of completely outside of our design, right? Completely out of our design, going into the realms of synthetics and hybrids and all things corrupted that have nothing to do with nature and our design. And because we're so far away from that, um, we become what? Obstructed. Obstructed. V equals P, take away O. Arnold Ehret. Vitality equals power, take away obstruction. The more, obstructions we accumulate physically, mentally, emotionally, the more we move towards imbalance. And it's the same song we've been singing for a long time, for decades. For decades, since the little Arnold Ehret mucusless diet healing system and rational fasting and his other three little books. I can't remember the names, but they were just repeating the same thing as those two books. Amazing, amazing book that led me on a completely different path in my life, the fasting lifestyle path. I knew once I had that book, I think I read it that whole night. I just couldn't stop. That's it. I knew I had to start fasting, and I started immediately experimenting with fasting. And that led me for decades of ups and downs and listening to all kinds of different people because there was no internet in those times, in those decades, the 90s. And then, the internet came in, when was it, late 99, I think I got my first computer. So those first couple of decades, and learning curve of the computer, and then the internet There was nothing on the internet. When you punched in raw foods, I think I remember there was like two websites on raw foods. That's it. Two websites. Punch in raw foods now and see what you get. You get billions of searches. Times have changed. And you get billions of other searches as well. And, as we say, you know, everybody, opinions are like a-holes. Everybody has one. Some even have two or three. And, this is the way it is. Opinions, opinions, opinions. I have my opinions. You have your opinions. Everybody's got their opinions. But in the realm of MFS, you know, we float around opinions, but the master fast system is based on experiences, many, 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 many experiences from many, many people, and from myself, from many years of fasting experiences. And there's people out there, you know call themselves healers with a piece of paper or whatever, and they have no experiences. They just go out there and they believe they have the answers from listening to one or two people. And it's a warning to anybody listening to those people. It's a warning. I've dealt with many of those people, and we continue to deal with those people. And God bless them for having the desire, if it is truly a desire to help people. From my experience, it doesn't come from that, because I've dealt with so many. It comes with the dollar sign, and that is the challenge in today's world. Everything revolves around the dollar sign. The whole infrastructure of our society revolves around the dollar sign. Everything, every single thing that we do revolves around the dollar sign. And that's the sad part, which puts that as a priority in today's modern man and woman, of course. So we must take things with a grain of salt. Ask a lot of questions. Use critical thinking, logic, common sense for everything we do, and use basis of universal, natural, and of course the divine God's laws to base our answers on. If those aren't in play, you're pissing in the wind. You're pissing in the wind, meaning you're going to be getting yourself in trouble, right? You're going to be getting yourself in trouble, as we've seen and we've been through ourselves. Many of those scenarios, trusting in the white jacket science, which is dollar-based, not universal, natural, and divine God's laws based. Has nothing to do with common sense and logic. Has to do with opinions and theories based on the mighty dollar sign. And people, that's what they want to believe. Go for it. That's your prerogative. That's your free will. as we put it, we all have that free will, which is a curse and a blessing at the same time. If you, depending which way you move. If you move towards imbalance, it's a curse. If you move towards balance, it's a blessing. The free will to move towards the laws of the universe, the laws of nature, the laws of the divine creator, we will be blessed if we work within those realms. If we fight against those laws, then this is why we see pain, misery, and suffering. There's no other reason. There is no other reason. You know, it's the times we're in now. It's, you know, there's beauty everywhere. There is beauty everywhere. Nature produces beauty continuously. The divine is continuously pouring out plasma love, divine plasma love always flowing. It's continuously, pouring it out, pouring it out. And we're just here, and we can accept it, or we can resist it and move with our free will in the opposite direction. And go into the realms of chaos, which is what the powers that want to be want us to be moving in the direction. Chaos, order through chaos is their motto. It's a diabolical thoughts, logic, and common sense they use, because there isn't any common sense and logic when it's diabolical. Right? We are living in a strange, wonderful time. You know, we believe we are gods, and here comes a tidal wave and wipes us out. And you're going to stop a tidal wave? I'd like to see that. Or an earthquake opens up and swallows you up. Just a downtown Toronto, big sinkhole yesterday, just was reading. Massive sinkhole in the middle of the city. The earth is going to do what it's going to do. It doesn't matter how big of a structure is around there. It's irrelevant. The earth is going to do what it needs to do. And because of what man has done in certain parts of the planet, will have an effect on all the parts of the planet. And we will never, never, ever understand the totality of that, which includes, of course, the vastness of the universe, which is infinite, and we little grains of sand, dust particle within the scope of the universe believe we have an understanding. It's a joke. And when people say they have the answers of healing and so on, it's also a joke. We just have a speck of knowledge of that stuff, of how to, how the body heals. We just put it in the state, the natural fasting state. We just put it in the state and let it do its thing. We just support it to the best of our knowledge from our experiences. We just support it, right? All the things we do in the realm of MFS is what? To support the fasting state, the natural state. We support it. That's all we're doing. We're supporting the natural state. And how do we do that? Well, we do it through our lifestyle, right? What we consume, you know, what we eat, consume, what we smell, what we look at, what we listen to, what we touch, feel and touch, emotionally, what we touch. These all have an effect, our environments, external, internal environments. These all have an effect on what our outcome will be. And if we're in pain, misery, and suffering, we need to change something. We need to change something. Just remember, if we're in pain, misery, and suffering, we need to change something. You know, there's people out there that they believe they're in, there's nothing wrong with them, they're in perfect health. And then you start asking questions. Oh yeah, my blood pressure is 170/80. Well, okay, but I don't feel anything, I feel good. That's not a state of health. There's something going on. When the blood pressure is that high, the kidneys are obstructed. And if the kidneys are obstructed, the bowels are obstructed. If the bowels are obstructed, every single cell in the body is obstructed, including the mental and emotional. We can deny it all we want. The answers are always in plain sight. Right? The answers are always in plain sight. We can say whatever we want, but the laws of cause and effect cannot be escaped. Hi, John. We cannot escape the laws of cause and effect. We can do whatever we want, we can believe whatever we want, but those laws of cause and effect are at play, whether we like it or not. And those are going to be the controlling factors of our outcome from our lifestyle choices. So if we want to be healthy, we must make the changes. We can deny all we want that we are healthy. That we're not sick, we feel good. We can deny everything, all the signals. Sorry, we can deny all the signals. But the truth is always there. Mostly men are more culprit at denial in health than women overall. More men, right? We are, we're supposed to be strong and everything, and we are more in denial that we are not healthy than a woman, let's say. Generally, from what I've seen, women will more easily ask for help, search for help, and admit there's something wrong. But the choices we make are going to be detrimental or give us a beautiful life of joy, pain-free happiness, lots of love. This is what most of us are searching for, but a big percentage of most of us will not do whatever it takes, no matter what, no matter how long it takes. We're just not prepared to do it. The social pressures our excuses is too much, too overwhelming for us. And we'll continue to do the things that we've always done and get the results that we've always gotten. Right? So, hey, life is full of surprises. Life is full of surprises. And we got to make our choices. If we're going to allow other people and entities to dictate to us, we're doomed. Look at what's happening with around the whole world with all the restrictions and censorships and all the crazy laws that are coming into play, and the filthy diabolical agendas they're pushing down our throats. Look at what's happening. Watching from Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. I haven't been there. So yeah, do we want to continue to stuff our faces? Well, good luck. The most popular videos by far are food. Food, and more food. Just watch the popularities and look at the superstar chefs and so on and so forth. So many there are. Just food, and more food. This is in the marketing they use to entice people. The mukbang videos, people stuffing their faces to oblivion with amounts of food that are that they are able to eat is inconceivable for me. I just can't comprehend that. Even when I look back at my younger days where I was eating anything and everything and a lot of it, I could never see myself eating the amounts of foods some of these people put in their bodies. Like some of it looks like it's bigger than their body, and yet they're forcing the stuff down their body. I don't know how the body handles that, but there are these people that are doing that. They're dropping dead. I've seen a few already. They just dropping dead. It's just tremendous stress we put on our physicality by doing that, and we think it's fun and games, and we can laugh at it. It's these hot dog tournaments, how many hot dogs people can eat. You can just choke. Then people have choked. People die choking all the time. There's so many deaths a year of people choking all over the world. So this eating is a dangerous habit. Eating, all diets lead to death. We keep saying it over and over. All diets lead to death. It's not, we don't say we're not supposed to eat. We got to be careful with the things we choose to eat and how we eat. We need to be at peace, take our time when we're eating, chew our food. I'm guilty of, eating quickly. I'm a lot better than I used to be. I used to be really, really fast, but I'm still guilty of that. Sometimes I just have to sit back and take those extra chews before swallowing. If you can chew your food till it's liquid. What's the saying? Drink your food and chew your liquids. I think that's the way it goes. Chew your food. Drink your food and chew your liquids. So you want to chew your food till it's liquid, and if you're drinking liquids, you want to chew your liquids. Right? In master fasting, people get paranoid and teeth challenges come up because we are built on such poor materials from our choices we made in our lifestyles. People eating junk food for their whole lives and everything. Uh, so the body's going to dump poor materials, no matter what it is. It's gonna try and dump it. This is why um, when we fast, we see some people that will go to absolute skin and bones, like it's like concentration camp skin and bones, like very, 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 very emaciated, very, very thin. And everybody loses weight, but then there's some people who just um, you know don't go to that state. But we're gonna get skinny. We're gonna get skinny. And then there's the odd people that don't lose that much weight. We had the one tennis pro. She actually gained weight on her 108-day journey way back, which was interesting. But you know what happens? You're training 5-6 hours a day, 5 days a week. You're gonna put muscle on, especially being a fruitarian. Um, for years, the body is going to be on a less obstructed scale, so it doesn't need to purge as much as somebody that was on a sad, horrific diet. It's just common sense logic, right? So the body is going to do some purging, but it's going to be able to build muscle because of the um, ongoing physical activity happening. That's a beautiful thing. So yeah, you can actually build muscle. If anybody remembers Marin, the superstar story, one of the most butchered people I know from the medical system. Haven't heard from him in many, many years. I don't know. Uh, don't know what happened. Have no idea if he's still around. But his story was absolutely phenomenal. Turnaround, and he went to Skin and Bones, and then he started putting on muscle after, in the second year of master fasting. After 2 years, after 2 years, started putting on muscle. It's just the way it is. If the understanding is either there or it's not. The fear takes us over, overwhelms us, and we don't believe anything. We accept the white jackets. And that's the way it is for most people. They'll go rush themselves to emergency because they lack. We lack the faith and the trust in our divine creator. We put the faith and trust in the white jackets instead of our divine creator. Our divine creator designed us perfectly, and if you put all your faith and trust, believe you me, the rewards are there. The massive rewards are there. And that's why we say in this realm, the MFS realm, everything is possible. It's just we've seen everything. People recovering for everything. So it's just a matter of we're not here to convince anybody. You can do whatever you please, and you can have your opinions however you like. We've already been through it. We've done it. So good luck. In these stimulating diets, go for it. The laws of cause and effect can't escape. You want to be on these high stimulating, high protein diets. Go for it. When you've been fasting for so many years, you become very sensitive. The body, the mind, the emotion becomes sensitive, And this is what we want. We want to be sensitive to the things that we are consuming. We want the warning signal. We want to know, you know, do we want to be consuming this stuff? This just don't feel right. We want to know. We want the signals. We don't want to be numbed out. You know, when you're on these high stimulating protein diets, those signals are numbed out because of all the stimulation. The senses do not work well. I don't care what claims people make. It is what it is. And, you know, sadly, you know, people believe in these diets. You know, had a woman who believed in it and did it for a year, and she ends up being bedridden. Okay. Why are some people able to carry on with it? Genetics from our ancestral genetics, environments, and also our attitude, belief system, and you know, everything has a play in everything. Infinite variables, and we can't escape the laws of cause and effect, no matter what. This is something that I don't care what people say. That those laws are there, and they can't be budged. If there's any questions, now's a great time. I'll call it a date. And have yourselves a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Looks like a beautiful day. I'm going to enjoy. We'll go work away. We got some heavy duty work to do today. Cement, nice heavy duty work. Every once in a while, it's nice to stress out the physicality. The other day, I was grinding for 8 hours, grinding cement, and my hands are still a little bit tingly. This is where, you know, I would agree with allowing the technologies to have robots do that kind of work instead of having ourselves do this nasty kind of work. We don't need to be doing that kind of work. We can design robots to do this kind of stuff, right? So with that said, we'll send out divine plasma love to all those in dire needs, and let's penetrate the hearts of the evil ones with bath. Ciao for now. We'll see you back on the page, and hopefully see you on next Wednesday, Facebook Live if I can make it. Got caught last Wednesday in the middle of the work, and didn't have proper internet access, so I couldn't make the call. Anyway, see you back on the page. Next call Wednesday, Facebook Live. Ciao.